Hey guys, Krabby Critics here. Today we're reviewing Red Sparrow, Jennifer Lawrence's latest film. So this movie is about Jennifer Lawrence's character, who is a ballet dancer turned Sparrow operative for the Russian government. So this is the non-spoiler part of the review. If you want to see the spoiler part of the review where we go a little bit more in depth, go ahead and skip forward. But for now, we're going to discuss what we thought about the movie.
So this movie hasn't been getting very good reviews, like really at all. But
I think the movie was fine.
yeah, I think it was good. I liked it. I just think that from the trailers, it does seem like it's a much more suspenseful thriller type spy movie.
Yeah. And there were parts like that,
Yeah,
definitely,
for
to be
sure.
fair.
But at its heart, it was mostly a drama.
Yeah.
So kind of like maybe the first 20 minutes into the movie, because of like the pace of things, that's when I kind of realized I was like, this is going to be more of a drama rather than a intense type. Like it did have its intense moments, but majority of the film, it is a drama.
And during those intense moments, they didn't hold back much. Like it got pretty intense.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But there was definitely long sequences of time in between those moments. Yeah.
But so I think that is kind of like the main issue for people not liking it is not viewing it as a drama.
Yeah.
Once I realized that, then I started to enjoy it more. This one is definitely, it's pretty harsh. It has a whole lot of stuff that just makes you uncomfortable, and it's really out there with its content.
Yeah, I mean this takes place in Russia, which is like not, I mean, it's no third world country, but there's a lot of corruption and stuff like that. So
It's a harsh place.
it's a harsh place. The cold Russian winter is not forgiving.
Not at all. Not even for Jennifer Lawrence, who
No.
I believe it's the first time we see her Russian accent in action, and she did a good job with that.
Yeah.
But no, this movie, the thing about it is not amazing, but it is good. I kind of feel like the writers, by the time it kind of gets to the third act of the film, I feel like they thought that their writing was like, this is gold. This is gonna blow people's minds.
You could tell they had like a grand vision for it, and they were thinking like, they're not gonna see this coming. Like we've got some gold here.
Yeah.
This is super original.
Yeah. Whereas like, it wasn't necessarily not original. Maybe not entirely original, but it was fine.
There's some good little twists.
It had
and
good
stuff
twists.
like that.
I did enjoy the movie. I did like really like it. But it was just like I had this feeling that they thought that the creators themselves thought they had something more than they actually did.
Yeah.
And I think that is the main issue that people have with this film. Whereas you just kind of don't put it up to these high standards. Don't think it's going to blow your mind and you will enjoy the film. One thing I see a lot of people saying that the character development isn't good. I thought the character development was fine. It wasn't necessarily that good.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of focus on, just Jennifer Lawrence, and we do get her character development, a decent amount.
I think that was good.
There was like some things that were like fairly that felt out of place. Like for example, at the very beginning, I'm not gonna say anything, but she does some stuff that it's like that they don't set up, and it's like it's surprising, but not in like the way that like, oh, this is an awesome twist or something like that. It's surprising in the way that it's like, okay, I didn't expect this to happen, and there's not a lot of justification for it. I'm just like, okay, this is happening. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was ultimately it was. I did really enjoy it. I did like it. I just don't really know if I'd watch it again. I'm not necessarily opposed to watching it again. It was just you watch it, and as long as you can figure out like what some certain twists were, which isn't too hard. Just think about it for a second, and then you're like, okay.
It's not a disappointing movie.
Yeah.
I will say it's not a disappointing movie. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, like you shouldn't have the highest expectations for it or anything like that, and then it definitely won't be a disappointing movie. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was an enjoyable experience, if a little slow.
It did have many moments where I was like, "Ooh, dang!" Like it had some like pretty intense moments, and then it also had its like more so philosophical teaching moments where I was like, wow.
That's something to think about.
There were several moments where I was like, wow, like with certain scenes. The movie was not a super long movie, but it felt really long because it was definitely a slow-paced movie.
Definitely, yeah.
So you definitely have to be ready for slow-paced when you watch this.
So, Brandon, what's your rating?
I would rate this a 6.8. It was...
almost a 7?
Yeah, it is almost a 7. I just feel like there was just a couple things. Mainly just the fact that I had the feeling that the writers thought it was better than it actually was. That just kind of brought me out of the movie.
Like they were overconfident in it?
Yeah, if they weren't as confident, I think it would be maybe like actually quite a bit higher of a rating, like maybe like a 7. Like initially after I watched the movie, I was like 7.2 I feel like is a good rating. But then just thinking about it a little bit more, it just got docked those couple of points. So yeah, 6.8 I think is a fair rating for me.
Okay, I'll give it a solid 6. I'll just keep it even there. I mean, I see what you're kind of thinking about, like giving it those little like point ratings in there, because it's really one of those movies where you're like, it's a fine movie, and they do some things that are very good, but it's also just like I don't really care that much. It's like I don't feel like watching this movie again. I don't have any desire to do that. It didn't impact me in any way or anything, so I'm gonna give it a 6, just because there wasn't anything like glaringly wrong with this movie, but it was like some good entertainment.
Yeah, I feel like
it was a story.
They had the idea and what they could have done.
Yeah,
could have had that confidence that I felt like they had, but there was a couple things that were kind of completely different than what
the
you would expect this type
was like
of movie to be.
Just not there.
Yeah, so it just left it a little out of place.
Yeah. Not disappointing out of place, but like it had more potential.
Yeah, it was like it was like racing its way to the line of greatness, but there was like a rope on its leg and it was just pulling it back as it was like, because like at some points it like really almost got there, but then it just like stopped at a certain point. So yeah, that's how I also feel about it. So I guess we can get straight into the spoilers now. So if you care about spoilers, go away. If you don't, stick around.
Jennifer Lawrence can definitely be a badass.
That's for sure.
I'm going to say that, yeah.
But this is one thing that I feel like kind of threw the movie off. I thought she was going to be more of a badass going into this.
Yeah.
She never really got any training for combat. Like,
yeah, you see her training, and it's a lot of like the like seduction part of it and stuff like that. And you see other sparrows, or presumably sparrows, training, like doing some weapons training and stuff like that. She does get training to like pick locks, and that definitely is very useful. She definitely puts that into use during the film. But it's like, you think like, oh, Russian agent, like she's gonna be like a total badass in this film, that sort of thing. And she definitely has her moments. There's no doubt about that, but it's not quite there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like one of those things where from the trailer, I was expecting more suspense, more intense stuff, and she had a couple physical tussles and whatnot, but she never, like, you could tell she wasn't like it seemed like she just wasn't trained on how to do stuff like that, which isn't a problem. It's not what I was expecting.
Yeah. In terms of like how the movie handles the action stuff like that, when action comes around, they do a good job. There were some scenes that got pretty intense. Like for example, the skin grafting scene.
Yeah.
That was like.
I think I expected that one to be a little bit more than it was, honestly. Like, I feel like there should have been some blood on the thing. But then again, maybe I don't know much about skin grafting, so maybe there wouldn't really be.
Well, I mean, just overall, it was like intense. It's like, I mean, I feel like movies are as far as movies I've seen recently, some of the torture scenes in these movies are getting more and more brutal because they have to get more and more creative to stand out. And that, like, I haven't seen the skin grafting one, and that, like, did give me some chills a little bit, because I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that was, like, but yeah, the only thing with that, though, is you didn't actually see it. Like, he just, he did it on his shoulder, so it was behind him, and...
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, you can tell that this director definitely held back a little bit in terms of the gore and stuff like that, and that, like... I mean, I always appreciate a director that doesn't hold back on that sort of thing. Yeah. I don't think it was necessary.
I don't have a problem.
I don't think it was necessary in this movie.
Yeah, it just... I just thought it was a little weird once he, like, had the skin. There wasn't any... I didn't see any red on the skin.
I think that's the point of skin grafting, is that it's
just doesn't do that. So
small.
I just expected a little bit, but, whatever. But then, Joel Edgerton's acting with that particular scene was really good, because you believed it.
You believed he was in pain.
And I do believe that was definitely a plus for this movie, was Joel Edgerton. I really I love Joel Edgerton as an actor. So I just think that he did a really good job with this. But yeah, that one thing, like, with that scene as well, like, I kind of expected Jennifer Lawrence to do what she did as far as pretending that she was the evil Red Sparrow.
One thing that the writers were definitely trying to achieve is they were trying to get Jennifer Lawrence to seem like the whole time like you really didn't know what side she was on. And they were trying their best to, like, hide that until, like, the reveal of, oh, she's really going to turn against the Russians in the end because they're kind of screwing her over. But, like, you do kind of expect it the whole time that she's going to, she's going to be good in the end.
With what she did, it is not surprising at all. Like, the whole, this was probably the main issue with the movie.
Yeah.
The whole time they're like, she is a master of seduction and manipulation, and she uses her seduction for it. Like, that's the whole thing. But she never really fully manipulates someone. She manipulates a couple people, but she doesn't do it like she was trained to. She was trained to have sex with the person and manipulate them through sex. She didn't really do that. When she did have sex with Joel Edgerton, I was like, I feel like should be somewhat of a tell.
Set up something.
This should be somewhat of a tell that she is manipulating him right now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that at all. Which was, like, the fact that she wasn't manipulating him wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It was just they spent so much time talking about how she's a manipulator.
Yeah.
They did in the trailer as well.
To be fair about it, I think that was supposed to be her, like, differentiation.
So,
I mean, to be fair, I think that was her kind of thing when it came to her training as a Sparrow, is she's being forced to be a Sparrow, but she kind of has her own way of doing things. And so just to be fair, she had her own way of doing things in terms of manipulation, and, like, she was good at that sort of thing. Like, she kind of avoided that part of it, and she did it fairly well. Now, you definitely didn't have that expectation going into the movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's what, like, the whole trailers were about, and It could make some things like some more intense where like, oh, she's really like getting into their heads, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah,
Like,
she doesn't do that
from the
very
trailer.
much.
She was painted as a bad guy, honestly.
Yeah, I got that feeling too from the trailers that she was going to be like the
yeah,
Russian
and I
spy,
was pumped for that. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But then she ultimately really wasn't bad at all, and like I was expecting her to.
I was ready for a good villain movie.
Yeah, like that's what I was.
Or an anti-hero,
hoping for,
that sort of thing. I mean, she was sort of an anti-hero, but
yeah, it's just I don't know. It was kind of odd because like
I think that goes back to our rating. It's like not quite there.
Yeah, with the CIA like guy, Joel Egerton, and then his other CIA buddies and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Like one guy makes a comment to him like once he's like figuring out this stuff with her, like he immediately catches on to her, and then is wanting to recruit her and stuff like that, and so then they're cooperating and whatnot, and one of the guys says, well, if she sleeps with you, then you know that she's not actually on your side because she's out of your league. It's like kind of like a haha. And even though it's like, yeah, you can say that and it doesn't have to come to fruition, I was kind of expecting it to at least mean something, but it didn't mean anything because she did sleep with him, but then she was 100% still on his side. So it was
like maybe they had like the twists and stuff like that. I think the whole thing with the Sparrow thing is that I was expecting the director to manipulate me more because the whole point of the Sparrow situation is that they're masters of manipulation, like you said. And I was expecting to be, as a viewer, manipulated more than I was. And you can from what you've been saying, you can definitely tell from the directors that they might have been trying to do that, but I didn't feel like I felt very conscious about what was going on the entire time, and like I expected what was going to happen like in the end. I maybe didn't expect like how it was going to get there, but I wanted my mind to be manipulated a little bit more, and I wanted the twist to like feel like I was there being manipulated.
The thing was,
I said manipulated so many times.
The thing was, to bring up the word manipulation again, you expect this one to have so much manipulation and whatnot, but then it kind of just reverts into a spy movie. Yeah. Like, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just not what the movie itself set up. It is not what the movie was saying it was. And it was like, no, this is just pretty much a spy movie. It seemed like the red sparrows around her were red sparrows and she was not a red sparrow, honestly. Yeah. Like,
and if they want that to be the case,
that would have been fine.
They should have, set that up more and like go hit that angle and then maybe do something else with it.
It just seemed like misdirection. Like the whole movie.
Not in a good way.
Yeah,
like not in the. Hey guys, it's Krabby Critics here. We're reviewing manipulation itself, the concept of manipulation itself. But pretty much. Yeah, it was misdirection in the wrong way.
It seemed like it was just like it was misdirection for themselves. Like they misdirected themselves while writing this movie. It seemed like. Yeah. So they manipulated themselves.
And to give them credit,
they thought they made a good movie, but they did make a good movie, just not as good as they thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, to give them credit, like that sort of thing is pretty difficult to do. To make like a kind of a.
So I'm not going to be like,
subtle mind bender.
You suck. Like this was a quality movie. As far as filmmaking quality, the filmmaking was really good. I thought that was really good.
And cinematography and everything.
Yeah, just kind of sound design, all of that. Good. Writing of day-to-day dialogue, good. Just the overall plot, just
left something else to be desired.
It just this movie. It seems like there's something missing in the puzzle. Yeah. But it's just. Yeah.
It's a solid movie.
It's solid.
Like if you have the opportunity to go see it.
Yeah, I'm Like, it might sound like we're hating on it a little much. It's because
we like movies and we can be very critical of them.
If you are like really into spy movies, for sure see this. It is good.
I'm definitely really into spy movies, and this was not as a spy movie. It wasn't a bad spy movie because that's what it ended up being, is just a spy movie.
Yeah. So I think
spy movie.
Yeah, spy movie. If you like spy movies, see this spy movie.
Spy movie.
The spy movie.
Spy movie.
Spy movie. Spy movie and manipulation.
But not so much.
Manipulate my spy movie.
Alright guys, thanks for watching Krabby Critics. That was a review of Red Sparrow. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified every time we post a video.
Every time.
Thank you. See you next time.
Watch more reviews. we review the new Skyscraper movie starring Dwayne Johnson. I thought it looked like pretty much a Die Hard ripoff, but a more family-friendly, adventurous side of Die Hard, and not as good version. However, it doesn't look like the shittiest Dwayne Johnson movie I've ever seen, so I might give it a watch. I don't know, but either way, that jump at the end of the trailer, I don't think he'd make that. However,
wait, hold on,
I don't even know why they put that in the trailer,
guys.
because
we got a call.
That's like a big spoiler.
We have a call. We have an incoming rating from Levi. Yeah? Yeah? I mean, like... Okay, so I thought it was... Like, there's some major shitty parts about it. Okay. Like, there's some major flaws. Okay. Right? And
critical major flaws.
Like, critical major flaws. Like, it kind of broke the movie, right? And he does not recommend seeing it in theaters. But he says 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 from
10
Levi.
out of 10.
That's 10 out of 10 from Levi.
What's it called again?
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow.
Starring Jennifer Lawrence.
I was going to say Scarlet something. I don't know.
Starring... Melissa McCarthy.
Starring Amy Schumer.
As Jennifer Lawrence.
Starring Amy Schumer. As Jennifer Lawrence's fat body double.
Get the fuck off my planet.